All right, there, everyone. Are you wondering how Biden's disasters like the fall of Afghanistan and a new round of COVID restrictions are going to affect your finances and the market? Well, our guest here today is going to help us answer those concerns. Bob Kudla of Trade Genius Academy. He's back with us again. If you're not familiar with Bob, he started Trade Genius Academy back in 2015 after 25 years as an executive for two Fortune 500 companies in the financial services industry. And over the past 5 years, Bob has amassed an amazing 65% overall win record in the market. So today, Bob's going to help us make sense, some financial sense of all the craziness going on in our world. So Bob, welcome back. Great to have you with us again.
Hey, Dr. Steve, thanks for having me. People like me love a little bit of chaos because these things make the market move. It gets it out of its comfort zone. And with chaos comes profit. So, and if it's at Biden's expense, it's like having ice cream and not gaining weight. So this is wonderful. So
I love it. Well, let's dive right into it. So Afghanistan, we got the Taliban returning after 20 years. We got Russia and China exercising more influence in Central Asia than they have in the last 20 years, not to mention possibly Pakistan and Iran. So what do you see as some possible economic ramifications of all of this?
Yeah, so first of all, let's talk about really macro. This is Biden's Waterloo. Okay, so whatever shred of credibility he had left is gone. Okay, so people look at this around the world and said, he can't even manage to probably one of the most basic ways in which you leave a country. Either he's inept or this was a design feature. And either way, we don't want it.
Right.
And you couple that with how they're managing the COVID response, everything to them is out of a political lens. People don't live politically, Steve. They live normally.
Right.
And these guys live, everything they do is through a political lens. Well, that political lens is starting to burn them. So look at COVID. Because vaccine mandates, vaccines uber alles, right? No deviation from the mantra. And you look at Israel, the most vaccinated country in the world. And yesterday they had a report to the parliament saying he started off with, don't be afraid. Well, when somebody tells you that don't be afraid, you better be afraid, and because people are dying and going to hospitals at levels even higher than when the Alpha variant was out. So something is significantly wrong with this RNA vaccination approach. And we don't have to get into all the details here, but there are reasons why this is happening. And it's basically busting the floor out of the argument, we got to vax everybody always. And you're starting to see it. Montana said no vax mandates. Texas, just before I got on the show, no vax mandates. Florida's going to do it. I think every red state's going to do it. And it's going to force the blue states to either implode economically or come on board with what's going on in the red states. So this is a beautiful thing. So they have no credibility anymore. The southern border, wide open. No COVID restrictions on those people. So basically the hypocrisy, the incompetence, and Joe's just not there. I mean, he's just rambling. He's like Weekend at Bernie's. And look, they got to keep this guy alive because the alternative is Kamala. When they said they were throwing Kamala on a plane and sending her to Singapore and Vietnam, I was half ready to read that the plane got shot down or crashed. You know what I mean? Because the way these people operate, right? That you just don't know. Nothing's above and beyond their way of approaching things. But yeah, it's over for them. They won't get the stimulus package done. They won't get the infrastructure package done. Nothing's going to get done. And Joe only knows what's put in front of him. And so he started off the thing on Afghanistan talking about the 5 talking points of the Democrats. People didn't want to hear it. They want to know why our people aren't home yet. And here's the thing that people don't realize about Afghanistan. 2 things. One is the Taliban may decide to keep 100 or 200 people hostage for future insurance, right?
Sure, leverage.
Guantanamo, we're going to keep your people.
Right.
And the other thing people don't realize, the Taliban yesterday told Turkey to get out by the 31st of August. Now, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, those are all Turkish people, from an ethnicity point of view. Turkey's they see themselves as the leader of that group, not the Taliban. And so I have a feeling that Turkey's going to get bigger and bigger involved in there. And I think China is not going to have the easy free ride everybody thinks. China's actually worried that we're just bailing out because the Taliban are true believers, and they're killing their cousins, their Muslim cousins in Western China. And China can't be happy that the Taliban may take offense to that.
Right.
So, you never know. Some Chinese move into Afghanistan. Well, guess what? Now they're kidnapped.
Right. Right.
So, it's really an interesting situation. And China doesn't have the wherewithal like the United States does to suppress that country. They don't have the air assets to do it. They can only flood it with people. And, that never works. So I think Afghanistan is really, really an interesting pivot for the whole world. Biden blew it. OPEC, Russia, Saudi Arabia, all turning away from Biden administration.
Right.
So I think it's going to mean more inflation for us. It's going to mean worse trade deals for us. It's going to be allies aren't going to be willing to stick their neck out for us. Nothing good is going to come out of this really poor decision that really sits right on Biden's lap. He told the military, he told the intelligence agencies, you're getting out and you're getting out on this date. Stop dragging your feet.
Right.
And he forced them, and they just, what they did? They saluted. They said, this is what you want.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bagram Air Force Base was abandoned in July. The new Afghan commander actually didn't even know it till he showed up. He was brand new, came in, and all the Americans were gone. Their equipment gone. What the heck is happening? Now all of our troops, the Afghan troops, are exposed. That's the way they had set it up and choreographed. It's almost like as I understand, a kind of desert storm, sort of sortie, weaken your enemy through, particularly the Taliban, through massive air bombing, and then you do a cleanup mission on the ground. And now that they had no air cover whatsoever and they were completely exposed. So how does this translate then to the market? What should we be expecting the market to react to?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more volatility, number one. So, right now the Federal Reserve is the reason why the stock market keeps inching up day after day after day after day. And I was expecting a taper. We still may have it. There's a meeting on Friday, Jackson Hole. If they mention taper, the stock market's going to probably sell off. September is usually a weak month for equities. So you'd expect maybe a pullback. But with our president so damaged right now, the central banks may not be desirous of creating more chaos. Mm-hmm. So what that means is there's more of this disassociation between the stock market and the economy, where it's getting harder and harder and harder for regular folk to survive and thrive, but you get this constant move higher in the markets. Mm-hmm. And so either we're going to get a big break on this Friday, Monday, Tuesday time period, or this thing's going to go what's called a blow off top, where the people are just going to blow it off and try to take what they could take. And then we'll have a stronger sell off, later in the fall or in December. And I think with the infrastructure bill kind of up in the air, just because it passes the House doesn't mean it's going to pass, is that if that thing goes down in flames, then, kind of like the fuel that was left may be pulled off the table. So we're just in really interesting times. On our standpoint, we're just watching the money flow, and we're shortening our horizons. We're becoming more selective of what we're chasing. We think energy is a good trade anyway. Right. Uranium, you have to fill the nuke plants regardless of how good or bad the economy is. You have Sprott out there cornering the market. Oil is going to go up because big monies have to hide out somewhere. They'll hide out in energy. And I think, the tech names are going to probably be a little bit at risk. And then if they get the infrastructure passed one way, shape, or form, gold and silver, platinum, palladium, they're all going to rocket because it's going to affect the dollar. So that's how we're looking at it. We take it a day at a time. Our algorithm just looks at money flow. So anything I tell you today is different tomorrow. I won't care because I'll just watch what the money flow does. Right.
Speaking of, so what about crypto? What do you see going on with cryptocurrencies?
What a difference a month makes, huh?
Yeah,
so
really.
At the end of June, crypto was going to zero. now we're back on the table talking about $250,000 Bitcoin. So look, our view is really simple. We were looking for basically a range move from the high 20s to the mid 40s. We got that move, and then we got a little ice cream on top. We had the breakout into the low 50,000s. We expected a bigger pullback than we got. Actually, they bought the market up again today. And so now we have to assume that if it breaks out of the range that it's in, it gets over 55,000, we're going to go, obviously we're going to assault the old time highs. And then from there, we're looking at the mid 80,000s. And then from there, dare to dream. And the move could be fast, Steve. What's things happening in the market is that money's coming, the coins are coming off the exchange. So they're being stored off market. And once they run out of the Bitcoin at the exchanges, is that the pairs between crypto and Bitcoin go away, because there's going to be no Bitcoin for the exchanges to trade against, when they facilitate these transactions. So that's going to boost Bitcoin big time. And then you're going to see a lot of moves in the US dollar pairs, like Ethereum dollar, Litecoin dollar, Link dollar, that kind of stuff. So it's all good news for crypto. And in addition to that, the crypto miners, they stopped supplying the brokers. So the crypto miners are doing extremely well now too. You're looking at Mara, Riot, BTBT, Grow, DPW, et al. And I shot you a chart. If your editor wants to throw it on there for us, take a peek at it. And if it hits this range that I put on the chart, the measured move is another $21 higher. And it's pretty incredible opportunity for people. We trade in and out of Mara and Riot a lot, and because it moves. And one interesting thing for your listeners to understand, Mara and Riot lead Bitcoin. So we saw yesterday, we were saying, hey, we're going to get a pullback in Bitcoin in our room, but Mara and Riot turned back higher. And we said, maybe we're not going to get the pullback. And lo and behold, boom, Bitcoin popped again today. Right. So people watch that. It's a tell for people in the market. Bitcoin and Riot are doing something different than Bitcoin's doing. Pay attention to what Mara and Riot are doing, because it tends to lead, not lag Bitcoin. So a way for people to make some free money here. And we take advantage of it all the time at Trade Genius.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I got a couple of shout outs here for you. There was from a fellow named Bob. There was a brief flash in the pan right at the open when VXX would have been 115%. I had to settle for a paltry 88%, LOL. Just pitiful. They made $1,000 profit on VXX. Was that today?
No, that was the end of last week. So VXX is another trade we do all the time. That's the volatility trade. And that's a trade that likes to go down. So we actually short it. So I've been teaching people how to use put options to take advantage of that trade. So it's a lot of leverage. And so I was showing people there's a tell in that too. So I was teaching people to look for the tell, get into trades, highly leveraged. It's a trade you can make money on nearly every week. And then when it pulls back the other way, then the profits even roll in after that. So it's a really good trade that we do. And I think somebody shouted me out on that trade, but we take that trade almost every week.
Here's Jeffrey. Close my gold options for $2,100 profit. $2,100 profit. Great trade, Bob. What's that?
Yeah, so Barrick Gold, that's the GOLD. We look at money flow and we look at Fibonacci's. It hit a low Fibonacci number. We said, hey, buy GOLD. And it popped. And so while we're waiting for gold and silver to break out, we take these what's called counter trend trades. And you can make a lot of money on these counter trend trades. So it's another thing we try to teach people how to do.
Here's Jeffrey. My only regrets, I didn't join Trade Genius the first time I heard one of Bob's interviews. I'd be up at least a 10 stack now. What's going on with that?
Well, I think he was struggling on his own. And one of the things that we do at Trade Genius is that we just don't throw people fish. We actually teach them the why these things happen. And we give you information that you use the rest of your life. Whether you stay with me or not, it's irrelevant. We'll teach you how to be a more effective trader. And I think a lot of people, the light bulb just goes off in people's heads like, oh my gosh, now I know why I wasn't making money doing it this way or that way. And then they have a tool they can use the rest of their life. So he's just probably shouting me out for that. 10X, meaning that we're showing how to use options to do some of the trades and get some proper leverage and doing it the right way. Not the YOLO way that you see on Wall Street bets, but really good sound ways in which you can make good trades.
And repeatable too. That's what's so impressive. So we're going to have a link down underneath this video for anyone who's interested in pursuing Bob's services here. Can you just give us a sense of what they could expect if they were to sign up? And do you have any deals or anything like that they can take advantage of?
Yeah, so I'll start with the deals is that we have, go to TradeLikeAGenius.com. You can get 65% off one of the 7 bundles that we have. We trade crypto, stock market. We also trade what's called a VIP room. We trade more aggressively with options, and it's a special room or training packages. Those are already pre-discounted 65% off. They're a great deal. But if you want to pick and choose, just use the promo code SCHOOL, 40% off of retail. Take advantage of anything we have in the store. You have to take advantage by the 28th, though, Steve, to get the deals. And what we do for you is that when you join, you have access to all the training, and they're in order. So you literally start with course 1 to course 22. They're all part of the service. There's no extra charge for them. And they're 3, 4, 5-minute vignettes to teach you how to trade and trade our way. And then you get access to the chat rooms where you can communicate with us. And then in addition to that, those indicators that we use personally are available to our subscribers. So we don't have any black magic that they don't have access to. And then we give trades out every day. A lot of the shout outs that you see are the trades that we're throwing people. And you know, and sometimes they think we're a witch, but once they figure out how to do it, you know, now I get guys in the room saying, hey, Bob, think about this one. Hey, think about that one. It's hitting our signal. It's hitting our alert. And to me, that's awesome because now they've figured it out, and you know, now they know how to fish.
That's awesome.
So that's what we do. So it's a really good package, really good group of people. We're all like-minded. We all want to help each other. And, you know, we're going to try to help you make money nearly every day in the market if we can.
Oh, amen. Amen. That's exactly what we want for our audience, to be financially free. No question about that. Bob, thank you so much. We love having a resource just like yourself. I know we could talk another 7 hours about all the things going on. So really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Steve. Thanks for having me.
You bet.